Hello everyone, Jesse Webb, Traders Pro. Market conditions remaining mildly bullish in a bull market. Pretty decent rally the last day and a half, and S&P 500 still holding up these levels. Momentum moving close, getting closer back to that upper bullish trend momentum location, and overall breadth indicator still looking quite positive in that upper range. Also sentiment continuing to look good right here. So we'll see if this market continues to find some support right here, or if we this is kind of a counter trend rally and we ultimately are heading back down again. Buy sell ratio is still looking relatively weak right here after that pretty wide range that we had and pretty decent sell-off that we've got. We're now just kind of hovering right around that buy-sell ratio of close to 1.26. So when we get, when we're above 1, obviously we still have some bullish tone to that, but right now we're just kind of stuck. And so that's also what we're seeing in the market as a whole, is really just not a whole lot of activity or some sideways action right here. If we take a look at S&P 500 and look at where we're at currently, this support area has held up this 467 range. If we do decide to roll back over and retest that 461 area, would be the support area to be watching. And obviously that 477 area on the upper range right here. So we've got this this zone right now, 477 to 467 on S&P 500, with another range around 461 if that ultimately does not hold up right here. But we've got a solid bar. Let me move this back over to this perspective. Yesterday was this rally here. We gapped lower, moved a little bit higher. The day before that was a pretty solid bar right here. So a couple of support zones now holding up at that 467. Let me move this back here. Take a look at bonds, as we have been looking at that price pattern here as well. TLT, very similar pattern to equities right now on that 6-month time frame. There is some support right around that $95 range on TLT, which is the 20-year ETF for bonds. And this perspective gives us that support right at that 618 area. If we go out to the 1 year, we've also got this resistance area that really ultimately did hold up right here around that $99 range. So now we're back down to this 95 zone, and this, if we're going to continue at least in this current uptrend, this is going to start to need to hold up as some support around that 95 area for bonds. Again, remember, when bonds are dropping, interest rates are going higher. So as this rally has been happening, we're getting interest rates that have been falling, and that's in anticipation that the Fed is wanting to and going to ultimately move rates lower this year. We'll see if that ends up happening or not. If we take a look at sectors, we had a few sectors here. One of the perspectives, when we see this starting to happen, we start to see some color happening here. We know that something is happening in these current trends. We're seeing energy. We now have a new downtrend sell on energy. That one has been floundering here quite a bit, but we're seeing now healthcare, utilities, consumer goods, telecom, stock sectors holding up right here, and seeing some weakness across the board and everything else. So that really is going to mute current the overall S&P trend as until we get some continued strength from these remaining sectors. We're also seeing commodities. If we take a look at gold, still in this overall nice uptrend pattern, finding some support potentially here right around this 187 range. Again, that might be a little hard to see with that yellow on there. And so getting some support right here at this 187 in that upper momentum zone. If we zoom that in just a little bit here, got some support at that 187 holding after a little bit of a retracement. So for gold, if we see some support here and continue, that's just really hovering on the spot price itself is around 2,000, which is historically as high as gold has been. And so we're at or approaching all-time highs really on across the board, across equities, across gold, at least across those things. And gold is oftentimes it's a flight to safety. So we'll see if that pans out to where we see gold moving higher, equities moving higher, which one is going to hold out. And nonetheless, it's in an uptrend currently, and worth considering, worth keeping an eye on for gold prices. If we take a look at oil, we've got oil, which has been starting to hold up a little bit right here. I'm going to move it back to this price pattern. It's attempting a new low right here, a higher low than this low, and this could be a new counter trend with some upside. So we'll keep an eye on USO, and we may start to see some oil stocks pop back into some of the scans if oil does give a bit of a rally right here. A couple stocks to consider to look at today. There's quite a few good-looking trades in there. TALK, which is in that medical information space, nice pattern, uptrend, bounce off that 236, and again right here around 219. 6-month time frame, you can see just has that little tick right there, a couple of dollar stock, looking good. And then also, there's some bigger names in there, Shopify, and then DoorDash, DASH, which is an interesting price pattern to consider, as it has a really strong confirmation bar moving out of a counter trend base and in that upper momentum zone there as well. That'll do it for today's update. If you don't have full access to the software, you can sign up with the link below, and we look forward to having you. Have a fantastic day today.